Welcome back to the channel everyone. Today we are taking a look at each Premier League club's highest earner. Quick side note before we begin, these figures are accurate as of August the 16th 2023. Without further ado, let's begin. Starting with Arsenal, we have Kai Havertz on £280,000 per week. Having joined from Chelsea in the summer for 65 million, the German was immediately catapulted to the top of the Gunners' wage list, making more than the rest of his teammates. After failing to really set the world alight at Chelsea, the move represents an opportunity for Havertz to rediscover the form that made him one of the most promising young midfielders in the world at Bayer Leverkusen. Earning a mammoth £280,000 a week, Arsenal will be praying that he does exactly that. Bournemouth's highest earner is Justin Kluivert on £80,000 a week. Kluivert is the Cherries' highest paid player and earns £80,000 a week after joining the club in a high profile deal this summer. Viewed as a bit of a coup for the club, it's understandable he's being paid more than anyone else at the side. With Premier League survival still a priority for the club, the former Roma man is going to be pivotal in the club's fortunes going forward. For Aston Villa, we have a tie. We've got Youri Tielemans and Boubacar Kamara both earning £150,000 per week. Aston Villa actually have two players tied for the highest earners at the club, with brand new signing Youri Tielemans joining Boubacar Kamara at the top of that list. The pair earn £150,000 a week and will both be influential in any potential success that the Midlands club sees this season. Kamara had a strong debut season last year, while Tielemans made a name for himself at Leicester as one of the most underrated midfielders in the league. It is surprising though to see the pair earning more than the likes of Philippe Coutinho and Emiliano Martinez. The highest earner for Brentford is Ben Mee, earning £55,000 per week. It's wild to think Ben Mee is Brentford's highest paid player, with only earning £55,000 per week. The 33-year-old arrived at the Bees last summer and played a key role in their successful Premier League campaign, but it's still quite shocking to see he's paid more than anyone else at the club. The maddest fact is that he's earning almost 3 times as much as Ivan Toney, who shockingly only earns £20,000 a week. For Brighton, we have Adam Lallana earning £90,000 a week. Offering vital experience at a time that Brighton needed it most, Adam Lallana joined the Seagulls from Liverpool in 2020 and has been their top earner since. Earning £90,000 a week, the 35-year-old has been a major hit for the club. The move to the South Coast helped resurrect his Premier League career slightly, and it's hard to imagine they'd have been quite as successful as they have been without him. For Burnley, we have Josh Brownhill earning £40,000 per week. Newly promoted Burnley may have spent big in the transfer market this summer, but their wage bill is still relatively low in comparison to other Premier League sides. Brownhill earns the most at the club, however, taking home £40,000 a week. The midfielder arrived at the club in 2020 and was huge for them last season as they returned to a top flight. Time will tell if he can replicate that impact this year, but if he can, he'll be worth every penny. For Chelsea, we have Raheem Sterling earning £325,000 per week. It's quite a big jump from Brownhill's £40,000 weekly salary to Chelsea and Raheem Sterling's wild £325,000 a week pay. The Blues have shown a willingness to splash the cash since Todd Boehly took over last year, and it seems that isn't limited to just the transfer budgets. The squad's wage bill is astronomical and Sterling leads the way on his eye-watering wage. Interestingly, Romelu Lukaku earns the same amount, but with his future at the club up in the air, it's hard to see he'll be doing that for much longer. For Crystal Palace, we have Odsonne Edouard on £90,000 a week. With the departure of Wilfried Zaha, Odsonne Edouard now has the privilege of being a top earner at Crystal Palace. Earning £90,000 a week, the striker signed for the Eagles in 2021, but hasn't quite found his stride yet. At Celtic, the 25-year-old was a goal-scoring machine, and he hasn't hit the same heights in London. For £90,000 a week, Palace will be hoping he does so this season. For Everton, we have Jordan Pickford on £125,000 a week. The last few seasons have been pretty dark for Everton, with very little to cheer about. One bright spot for the Toffees though is Jordan Pickford, who has consistently been a standout performer for the side. That's why it makes so much sense for the goalkeeper to be the club's top earner at £125,000 a week. His exploits last season arguably kept the club in the Premier League, so if you ask anyone involved with the club, he's worth every penny. For Fulham, we have Raul Jimenez on £100,000 a week. Arriving in the summer, Raul Jimenez immediately became Fulham's top earner on £100,000 a week. The former Wolves man has a proven goal-scoring record in the Premier League and is a significant upgrade on the Cottagers' front line. Wherever he'll replicate the form he showed at Wolves before his devastating head injury is currently unclear, but if he does, he'll certainly earn his weekly wage. For Liverpool, we have Mohamed Salah on £350,000 a week. The highest earner we've come across so far, and for good reason. Mohamed Salah earns an eye-watering £350,000 a week at Liverpool. The Egyptian has earned every bit of it over the years though, and his performances for the club have been influential to their success under Jurgen Klopp. Salah is one of the Reds' greatest ever Premier League players, and even his worst seasons are genuinely better than most. So his status as the top earner at Liverpool feels right. even if £350,000 a week is an absurd amount of money. For Luton, we have Alan Campbell on £8,500 a week. Looking at Luton Town's top earner, it will be breathtaking if the club can compete with the Premier League's elite this season. Campbell's £8,500 a week is somehow the most anyone at the club earns, which highlights the gulf in resources that the side has in comparison to the rest of the league. In fact, the club's entire weekly payroll of £112,000 is over 3 times less than what Salah earns just that alone. For Manchester City, we have Kevin De Bruyne on £400,000 a week. There has been no midfielder in the world better than the Belgian since he joined Pep Guardiola's side, and it's hard to imagine the club would have achieved even half of the accolades they have done so if they didn't have him in the middle. Sure, Erling Haaland's goal-scoring exploits meant it wouldn't have been too surprising to see him as the club's top earner, and he would have earned it too, but De Bruyne is also more than deserving of the honour. For Manchester United, we have another tie in the list, with both Casemiro and Jadon Sancho earning £350,000 a week. Having arrived last summer and immediately helping transform the side, Casemiro's status as Manchester United's top earner doesn't feel all that surprising. Jadon Sancho matching him with the pair both on £350,000 a week is a little bit of a twist though. The Englishman tore the Bundesliga to pieces during his time at Dortmund, but hasn't quite been the same player since he arrived at Old Trafford in 2021. With that being said, there's more than enough time for him to turn things around, and he certainly showed glimpses last season of the quality they wanted. If both men find form this season, United will certainly see success, and they'll have justified their astronomical wages. For Newcastle, we have Sandro Tonali on £210,000 a week. After qualifying for the Champions League last season, Newcastle United made a statement this summer when they signed Sandro Tonali and immediately made him the club's top earner. On £210k a week, the former AC Milan star was viewed as a major coup for the Magpies, and if his impressive debut is anything to go by, he's going to earn every bit of his salary this season. For Sheffield United, we have Ryan Brewster on £27,500 a week. With the departure of Sander Berge recently, Ryan Brewster became Sheffield United's highest paid player. It's safe to say though that he hasn't quite justified that. The striker has been very disappointing since his move from Liverpool and made just 17 appearances for the club last season. It's hard to imagine he'll justify his status as the top earner this year either. For Tottenham, we have Tanguy Ndombele on £200,000 a week. Another transfer that didn't live up to the expectations, Tanguy Ndombele's status as Tottenham's highest paid player is astounding considering he spent the last season and a half loaned away from the club. Spurs expected big things from the midfielder when he joined the club, but things haven't quite worked out, and it's probably fair to say that the club would like to take that salary back at this point. For West Ham, we have Lucas Paqueta on £150,000 a week. As things stand right now, he's currently the Hammers' top earner on £150k a week. After his influential performances at the back end of last season and helped the side win the Conference League, it makes a ton of sense that Lucas Paqueta earns the most at the London Stadium. And to finish off the list for Wolves, we have Pablo Sarabia and Gonzalo Guedes, both earning £90,000 a week. Wolves also have two players that are top earners, paying both Pablo Sarabia and Gonzalo Guedes £90,000 a week each. Both players joined the club last summer and unfortunately for the club, neither has been a success. Guedes failed to impress and was subsequently loaned out to Benfica, while Sarabia has regularly featured for Wolves but has scored just once in his 14 league appearances for the club. Neither man has lived up to their wages. And there we have it guys, that's our list of each Premier League club's highest paid player. Now seeing as this list was made nearly over a month ago, it could be wrong, so feel free to update us in the comments because obviously transfer window is still ongoing I do believe, or it is closing. But let us know what you think of the video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one guys. See you later.